Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everybody around the world. Welcome back to the One Piece video featuring IMU. Coming at you guys with another Spicey Deck Profile featuring OP13 here on the channel, in which a leader that I'm very excited to dive into. This will be my first, well, yeah, probably one of my first meta decks in which I am actually excited to play when it comes to paper, more so, right? Typically, if you guys are new to this channel here, I like to put out a bunch of like off meta decks or meta decks with spice content. And when it comes to going to local scene and playing in paper, I typically play something that's like tier 2 or off meta. I don't like playing things that are overly saturated or overly everywhere when it comes to the meta, but I think this time around when OP13 comes, we will be diving into either IMU or Ace personally, a lot more than off meta decks. Now, IMU on the other hand, this leader is going to be one of the best decks to play in the format for OP13. It'll be more so like a triangle meta, if you will. You have IMU, Ace, and Zoro. I think those are going to be the best 3 decks going forward, especially in OP13. So if you guys are interested in playing either one of these decks here, you might as well get pieces now before things get a little bit too expensive. But either way, this will be the deck list in which we are going to be diving into today. We're going to go ahead and talk about what IMU does, what makes this leader so busted, and we're going to play a bunch of games as we typically do here on the channel. Now, without further ado, IMU's ability. You are a 5k leader with 4 life, right? This is one of the first of its kind that we have seen in a very long time. The original was Enel, or Enel, depending on how you guys want to say it. Now, with IMU's ability, you automatically start the game with one of your stage events. So either this 1-drop event or your 7-drop event. Both of these events do different things, of course, or stages, sorry. But you start the game with this, going through your deck, grabbing one of these, adding it to hand. And it automatically gets played on the field without having to spend the Dawn, which is really cool. So you can start off with a 7-cost event on turn 1, which is kind of nice. Now, IMU's other ability, once per turn, you may trash 1 Celestial Dragon type character from the field, or 1 card from Celestial Dragon in your hand, and then you can draw 1. And I think a lot of people probably misread this or don't pay attention all too much. The card can be on the field. It does say this in text, but again, this is something we haven't seen in a long time. Whereas, for example, if you go back and you look at things like Sakazuki, for example, if I can find your boys in here somewhere, where are you at? I know I'm looking right at him, aren't I? I don't see him. So if you look at like Sakazuki, for example, you discard 1 card from your hand, you draw 1 card. IMU has the exact same ability, except for you can trash a searcher on board that's Celestial Dragons, and then you can just draw a card for free, which is nice. So you play a searcher, you get a card from the searcher, then you trash the searcher with IMU's ability to draw an extra card, which is kind of good. Now again, you only can do that once per turn, but at the same time, drawing 2 is pretty good. Now, everything else here, everything in this deck is going to be Celestial Dragon based outside of my VV here. This is more of a tech-based card, and typically I've been playing around with VV and I've been playing around with the 9-drop Stussy, back and forth. Both of them are very, very good, or Stussy, sorry. Both of them are very, very good. I feel like having the 1-drop is something that you can utilize here to round out your turn when you don't have anything else left to play. Having the extra 1-drop blocker on board is pretty solid. You meet the requirements very easily here in this deck. You discarding a lot of cards in the trash, kind of similar to Blackbeard, but at the end of the day, hey, this is a spicy tech option. You guys do have a little bit of extra leeway here when it comes to building IMU. Not so much, but just a slight little bit. I think that this deck list in general is going to be pretty much this, with a little bit different ratio changes, kind of similar to Blackbeard when Blackbeard first came out. So, now, we're going to get into the rest of this deck list real quick, and then we'll dive into a bunch of games here. This is going to be your 1-drop searcher. You play this on board, you look at 3, then you take 1, then you trash another card from hand. So you get a search, right, and then you discard a card in hand, which is interesting. This is something that's a little bit different than usual. It's kind of similar to Sengoku, which both variants do similar things, but except for you trash 2 cards in hand first, then you draw 3, and then it has the blue one as well, which you trash 1 card and then you search 5, you draw 3. They're very similar to the fact that you search 3, you draw 1, and then you trash a card in hand. So with IMU, you're playing cards out of trash regularly, so it doesn't necessarily hurt you at the end of the day. Then we're going to be running with your 4 2-drop St. Charlos. This can be taking down the 2. You can flex with this ratio a little bit, not so much. You know, you still want to be able to search this out with your 1-drop searcher here to be able to draw a blocker when need be. But other than that, he's kind of just something you pitch away for a 1k counter, have a cheap blocker on board, i.e. like Vivi. But he doesn't do anything special, to be fair. Everything else here is required for the deck. You must run 4 of everything else that you see here outside of the 1-drop event here, and that's pretty much it. All of the other cards here are going to be your elders. You need your elders at 4. You have to see every single one of these elders in the trash to be able to activate your 10-drop elder. Each one of the 4-drops here, and the 6 and the 7, they all have abilities on board, but they also have an effect that's a passive ability, where if you have 7 or more cards in your trash, none of these cards here can be removed by effects. No KO effects, no bottom decking, no moving it to life. As long as you have 7 more in the trash, these cards are permanently on board, which makes them very, very good. Arguably, swinging for 5Ks, they're not, it is what it is at that point. It's a 5K. You're not really hitting every leader in the game until you have Peter on board. Once you guys have amassed enough cards in trash, you guys have Peter on board. This guy allows all of your elders that have base power of less than 7 become 7k, which is really strong. Now, this of course does not gain the power boost because it's a 12k leader, or sorry, 12k character. But the nature of this, if you have a couple elders on board, you do your swings first and you play this guy down, which is your 10-drop. You activate your IMU's ability, you trash one of your other characters on which you've already swung with, you draw a free card. You activate this ability, and then you're able to go through your trash, grab every single elder back from trash, play them back on board, do the effects again, so i.e. like Mars, discard a card in hand, KO something of base cost 5 or less, you get a pop, and then you also get a search off with another elder, and then at the same time, this will brings in your 6-drop, which has rush. So this deck, not so much as flexible as I'd want it to be, very straightforward, still complicated. You still have to think on your turns. You have to make sure you guys don't deck yourselves out, which is a worry here in this deck, 'cause you draw a lot of cards. But at the same time, it's very straightforward on how to play it. Just, there's a lot of working pieces. You draw a lot of cards, you have a lot of opportunities to play different bodies per turn. It's very fun. But either way, we're going to go ahead and dive into a bunch of games today. Let's get into it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to dive into a bunch of games today. Come at you guys with IMU, playing into Blue-Yellow Nami here in OP13. Now, we're going to try to play, I don't know, an hour's worth of content as per usual here. But at the same time, do come at this, I guess, this IMU list or this video today, as I am still getting my feet wet with the deck. So I do apologize if I do a sequence out of order, but that's just to be expected as we learn to play OP13 and OP12. Now, speaking of OP13, we will be diving into Ace as well. I do want to get familiar with that deck list as well, because I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to go IMU or Ace here for OP13, or dabble into Zoro. As much as I don't like playing green, because I'm kind of bonnied out, per se, I think it'll be more so IMU or Ace if I had to choose one or the other. So, as much as I love Whitebeard Pirates, that is very, very top of my list when it comes to what deck I want to play out in OP13 and take it a little bit more serious. Now, with that being said, IMU, on the other hand, I feel like he is, or she is, the most simplistic of the three. Well, I guess you can say Zoro is pretty simple, right? You rest something, you swing, and then you swing again. I guess. But in that regard, you go in with IMU knowing what your game plan is. You get the 10 Dawn, you drop a thing, you play more bodies, you do a thing, you pass turn, you do it again, right? Zoro, on the other hand, it's very simplistic as well, but there's caveats to it, considering you have to see certain cards on certain curves to be able to rest certain characters, to attack into things, you know. I do think IMU is a little bit easier to learn than the other two, personally. Not that I've mastered this deck just yet, but at the same time, as a newer player looking in from the outside, if you're choosing one of the three, I would probably go with IMU, just because it's an easier approach to the top 3 meta decks that you can perform well with if you put time into it. Now, with that being said though, I very much love complex decks. I love decks that allow me to draw cards, remove things, yada yada. Blue is kind of my favorite color here when it comes to One Piece, so we might be getting more into Ace, and that's just, you know, hey, it be what it be. But either way, we're going to dive back into this matchup here. Just wanted to get that out before we did it. Nami is very hard. This matchup is very difficult. And I've had my wins, I've had my losses. But I think this is one of those decks in which I think a lot of people are sleeping on, because Nami and OP13, we gain a lot of new tools. Whereas people say the deck's not great until you're able to access Odin. I personally don't care about the 7-drop Odin, and I've met and talked to other players who also don't care for the card. It's okay, right? The downside is it's a little tricky to use in Nami, because you have to spend the Dawn, in which you typically don't have until you pass the turn for the following. Whereas in OP13, you still have access to Odin, but you also have access to the 4-drop Hiyori over there, which is very problematic for every deck out there, because if you attack into Nami, she can discard a card from her hand, block, KO the Hiyori, then heal a life. And then she can heal a life again with Kuma, which she's doing here. She has Kikinojo to heal up, she has Kuma to heal up, Hiyori to heal up, Katakuri if she's running that. There's so many options here in Nami to be able to out-heal and out-sustain IMU, and I think that's why I have the most trouble going into this deck list, or going into this matchup. I think Nami is something in which a lot of people just disregard as not good, per se, if you will. But I think as IMU, I don't really want to see this matchup as often as others. You know what I'm saying? I think Nami is very challenging, especially when I have 4 life, and my abilities don't really come online until 10 Dawn. You know what I mean? If I'm playing down Mars on board, which is my 5-cost Elder, that allows me to trash 1 card in my hands, and then KO something of 5 cost or less, I'm either hitting like things like Kikinojo, the 1-drop Nami that gives her like a Arrested Dawn, or I'm KOing things like Cavendish. Not a lot of problematic bodies, especially when it comes to, you know, this matchup here. Kikinojo heals the Nami if I pop it, which isn't great. But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. The good thing about this match, though, unlike most decks, IMU can afford to tap out on all Dawn and then still be able to swing. If we have Peter on board, right? Which Nami can't remove, so she can't Jozu, she can't Katakuri. Obviously it's a 7, so she can't Jozu, but she can't Katakuri, she can't pop it, she can't Red Rocket. It can't be removed, which is nice. So Peter will make every single one of my Elder's attacks 7k. Therefore, Nami has to still pitch 2 cards in hand to guard out of the attack. I also totally forgot that she has access to Marco here as well, which, for me, we can remove it, but regardless if we remove it or not with Mars, she gets to draw 2 cards. So Nami gets to draw off Marco. Marco is also a blocker, and at the same time, if Nami does any sort of damage, she gets to draw cards. And I think that's the caveat with this deck going forward in OP13. Out of the meta decks, like I told you, IMU or Ace for me. If I had to choose an off meta deck, it's going to be either between Kuzan or Blue Yellow Nami, because I love playing Kuzan. It's so much fun. But having all these new tech options for 13 when it comes to Nami, it's just, ooh, it's really good. It's so much fun. What we got going on here? I want to try to remove Kuma if possible. I know we have an option here of playing down our rusher, going 7 into it, and then minus it by 2, but she does still have 2 blockers on board. So regardless of how I look at this, she has access to just using Hiyori's effect to heal a life, using Kuma's effect to heal another life. You know what I mean? She's going to heal twice this turn, which is kind of crazy. Yep. Goes up to 7. Goes to 8. Or she draws 2 cards from the Marco block. So, she takes the hit this time. It's a Beji. That is unfortunate. Okay. Well, there's not really much else that we have going on here. So we're going to activate our leader skill here. Which I think we already did, didn't we? Yeah, I think we already did that. St. Charlos. I guess we can save that for later. Yep. We'll pop this. We'll KO the Marco here. Ooh, in hindsight, I think I should have KO'd the Hiyori. Because the Hiyori allows when I attack, right? So, yeah, that's my bad. I've actually done that a few times playing against Namis. I kind of disregard Hiyori sometimes, and with my Mars ability, and I should pop it instead. Because now she gets to do the thing, and then discard a card and do that. So, that's my bad. We live and learn. Maybe. So, like I said, I've done this a couple times here in this matchup. Also, this Newgate is pretty gross here in Nami. Being a 12k blocker and being able to enable your leader ability is kind of disgusting. 7 to 5. I will counter here. I want to keep this on board. I don't want to block here, right? That's not the greatest thing. Newgate can't swing. So arguably, we just use our 1-drop event and keep this on live. Oh, sorry, on board. Okay, so we have access to another 10 Elder here. So let's go 7s. Keep swinging 7s here. We may go to 8 and 9s, but at least going 7 still forces getting cards out of hand here. Let's go 8 here. Let's go 8 here. That's fine. Because this will still force a 2k. Yep. There's Capone. We'll go 7 with IMU. Okay. Puts her to the 4. I feel like even though we have a solid board, we are still fighting an uphill battle at this point, because any of these cards can still be triggers. She can't remove anything, right? But she can get Kikinojos on board, which are more bodies to swing into me. Yep. Okay, so there's a Brûlée. So she runs Kikinojo, Brûlée, Red Rocks when it comes to triggers that we've seen so far. I don't know if I missed one. As much as I want to go into the Newgate here, we can't because the Brûlée is on board. Which kind of sucks. At least we should be able to remove the Brûlée here when we swing. Unless she wants to go down the 2 life. Which is okay. So we'll -2 here. Okay, she goes down the 2 life, unfortunately. I guess that was pretty good on her part, because we can just go ahead and use our ability to play the 10 Elder again, and then get another Rush character down. Our 6-drop. Yep. Which we have the Dawn to attack into the Newgate, and force her to give me cards out of hand, but instead she's able to block it here with the Brûlée. So it doesn't necessarily help us all too much. So we're going to have to pop this, and then we can try our plan. Do this first. We'll trash this guy. I want to keep my events for now. We'll pop this. How many cards do we have left here? We have 5 here. We have 10 left in the deck. We're gonna not take anything for now. Just for the time being. I don't know if we're going to be able to survive long enough to go for game here. She's got 2 life left. We know that she runs Brulee, Veggies, and possibly 0-cost events. So, and now we have an option of... We can't swing into Newgate here, as much as I want to. I could if I attach the Dawn, so we do have to go face in that situation. So I want to leave up a Dawn for our leader ability. Or sorry, our 1-drop event. Nami's got, what, 7 in hand here? 7 here. I feel like she's going to swing into that with Newgate anyway. Perhaps. Okay. Another Hiyori, another Marco. Here we go again, boys. Here we go again. I feel like this is like the new Nami, like, win condition, if you will. Whereas you establish the Newgate and then you constantly keep playing Marco and Hiyori's down just to keep healing your life. And then whittle your opponent's board down with the 12k Newgate. But I could be wrong. She has seen pretty much all of the nuts in this matchup. And I think at one point she had 8 life, right? Was it 8 or 7? Regardless, more than me, so. Alright, so that's Gravity Blades, Brulees. Let's go 7 lead first here. Yep. Oh, man. Yeah, she draws 2. Which I guess is not that bad, because we can either play down our 6-drop, right? To pop the Hiyori. That way she doesn't heal a life. But if she wants to heal a life, she has to pitch a card in hand. So I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Because we can still win here. Regardless if she does heal. Because that means she got rid of her red rock, which in tail she would throw away for a 2k, and she would still need more counter anyway. Okay, let's do our ability here. I guess we'll trash this and we'll draw 1. Okay, we get a 4-drop again, which is good. We'll use his ability. We'll trash this as well. And bring back our elders back on board. And this gives us another rush attack here, which we can't do anything with because Newgate's alive, obviously. We can't kill anything, but we can search. Okay, we'll take the event, which is good. And then we won't use this, won't pass turn here. Oh, actually, no, we can swing on their leader. So we'll go 9k first. Which I would imagine she'd block with Newgate, right? Because she knows we can't run into it and kill it here. And there's not really a reason to... Okay, she takes the hit. Interesting. I don't know why you wouldn't block there with Newgate. Unless I'm missing something. Perhaps... I guess if we swing 9, she blocks a Newgate, and we go 7 with our 6-drop. Maybe she takes the damage anyway, unless she had, gives me cards in hand. So regardless, I'm not sure. But now she needs to heal up or stabilize. Because we don't have any more 10 drops, right? And this is all of what we have left here is on board. We're running out of cards in the deck. We have 9 when we draw. She's got Newgate here. She still has access to like 8-cost Luffy, Eustace Kid. She's got big bodies still. Definitely. She could have potentially played down another Newgate here. I do think Nami could hang on. Okay, alright, going 10 lead. Interesting. We've got 7 left. Okay, that's my fault. Thankfully we looked here. If we block, we go to 6, right? Then we draw, we go to 5. Let's take this hit. Okay, get a 2k counter. She doesn't have any rush unit she can play down here for 5 Dawn, which is fine. She does have Marco, though. 1 Dawn's up, which means she has access to events here. Well, let's just poke. Not really much else we have going on here, so we're going to go 9 lead. It wouldn't have mattered if we played our 6-drop here or not to pop the Marco. Because she's going to be able to draw cards regardless. Gives me a new game, so she did have another one of those. She does go blocking here. She gets 2 extra cards. She pitches a non-counter to go up to 7k, which was the new gate. She's got 1 blocker on board. Now I cannot be greedy here and go for game. As much as I want to. I don't think I can. Okay. We get a Veggie and one of the 2 drops here. We'll go 7. See if we get other cards out of hand. Akuma, which is good for us. Oof. Nah. Let's swing here. Okay, another Kuma. Now we definitely can't go for game because she has a blocker on board here. Although I do think that's okay. Let's trash... Yeah, this will be fine. We'll go ahead and KO. Get this on board. I probably should have KO'd the other guy. I always forget their names. I'm still trying to learn every one of them, you know. There's so many of them. Saturn, I guess. We should have killed Saturn, basically. But it's okay. They both do the same thing. They're both swinging for 5s. I don't really think it matters too much. This time around, though, we at least have 3 blockers on board, in which she cannot get around, because she can't Gravity Blade or Red Rock, and either of them are bouncing nothing in the hand here. So, I think we're fine to attempt to go for game next turn, depending on what she wants to put down here on board now. So I think, again, she's been up to 8 life this game, and we've been hanging on, pretty much. Because she hasn't had any other characters to play on board, because she has to pitch them for a counter, for the most part. We need to keep him alive, that's for sure, so we will guard here. If she swings with Newgate, she loses. Another Marco, alright. 2 in hand, 1 in life. I have to be careful of that being a 0-cost event. And that's the problem there. Because we do have 5 attacks. She has got 2 blocks up though, right? So, if that's a 0-cost, we just lose if we go all in. And I'm not really in danger of losing the game, especially with the events I have in my hand, so I can kind of take it slow. But I do have to be mindful of how many cards we have left in the deck, which are 5, so. This is probably a mistake, but we'll see. We do get another 6-drop, which is fine. Okay. 2 left. This is very, very risky. But let's see what happens here. We'll toss this, we'll pop the Marco. Yep. We have 2 cards left in the deck here. Which, regardless at this point, if she had Pudding, she would already won the game. You know what I mean? This is why I think it's okay for me to play like this now. Because at any point of this matchup, 2 turns ago, she could already Pudding me and we could have lost the game. And considering she didn't do that, I'm assuming she didn't have Pudding. Which is nice, because we haven't seen a single one. Right? Yeah. No Pudding so far. Let me get those cards. I do like the deck, though. I think Nami's going to be a lot of fun to play here soon. Take the hit, please. Okay, she did have Pudding. Interesting. Perhaps... Well... No, then. I mean... I don't know. I'm not very good at math, that, you know, to be fair. But I think if she were to play Pudding last turn, we'd be at, what, 1 card in hands? Or, sorry, 1 card in the deck? Instead of 2 right now? Because hypothetically speaking, we wouldn't have played our 6-drop here, which forces us to do a thing. I do think if she kept that Pudding, she would have won the game here. But at the same time, if she decided to take the life, I think we would have went all in. Because we were swinging for 7s, and we still had 3 Dawn left to play around with there. So, if she went down to 0, we'd have to force it. But instead, she gave me the Pudding as counter. So I guess that extra life would have to be a 0 cost in order for her to be safe there with the new gate block. And I think no matter how you want to slice it, I think we played well here with IMU. I just do think if she saw pudding at some point and she was able to put it on board instead of having to keep playing Marco blockers and the Hioris, which costs 4, the matchup might have been more favored towards her there. But I think she had to put the blockers down to keep the the wall up from smacking her in the face, because I'm hitting what, 6 swings, 5 to 6 swings each turn, which is kind of crazy. And a GG. Jozu. And then Nojiko. We will go for a round 2 though, and then we'll try different decks after this one. Because I do think Nami has a very good matchup here into IMU. As much as it might be hard to believe, but just being able to out-sustain in IMU and then just playing pudding when they get super low, I think that's kind of how they want to take this matchup. I could be wrong. I think that's how I would do it. Because you only have to see Marcos and Kumas to be able to survive with your Hioris, right? And that's pretty much it. As long as you can wall off, I think you're fine. Now, winning the die roll here is another big thing with IMU. Because putting IMU on turn 2 enables our abilities, right? Whereas if we're forced to go first, it's a little bit harder for us to combat board and protect our life at the same time, which Nami does have access to a lot of characters in which can push me, so like Odin if she's utilizing it, and we have no way of removing it, so. And speaking of our hands, we have nothing but events here, which is not good. Well, wants to start pressuring, going 7 face. We have nothing to play here other than saying Charlos, so. Gives me a Jozu and Nojiko, okay. Which I can understand because both of those cards are kind of useless here in this matchup because they can't bounce anything other than Charlos. I'll trash one of these. We get a Vivi. Cool. Great. Not what we need here. Definitely not what we needed. I was hoping for a Saturn, but what are you gonna do? So Nami has access to getting 2 Rested Dawn here, so swinging for 7 each turn for free. Also has a blocker in Marco. Yep. Might as well use our events considering we have them here. We'll guard here. And now we can't even remove the Kikinojo due to the Marco being on board. If we try to, we have to use this instead, which forces her to block when we swing this turn. But at least we're able to remove the Marco off the field here. There's the Saturn. Oh well. What are you gonna do? Let's go 7 lead. Yep, thank you. It's never really good giving your opponent free cards, but at the same time, you know, we need to be able to remove that body on board before it becomes a problem. She places more down. Okay, never mind. Please stop. Great. Great. So she's going to draw 2 and still heal herself with the Hiyori. And go 7k to face. So we'll go to 9. That way she can't draw an extra card off leader skill. Please. I mean, this will work, I guess. But still. I'd rather take the blocker for now. We can trash the other ones. I need to get the search off though, I think. I think that's more beneficial to me. No 10 drop, man. That is rough. I'll take another one. Can we get there? There he is. I'll take that for now. And this is where she puddings me and becomes a problem. Okay, there's that. Let's go 6 lead. Yep. Now we can't swing, we'll pass turn. Which is kind of unfortunate, but it be what it be, man. The Marco being up, and with the Hiyori, it's just very hard for us to get around with it. And then she gets the new gate on curve, so she did the thing. She sustains, she got the blocker, she got the card draw, and she's able to get Newgate down while attaching 4 Rested Dawn to lead her, swinging for 9 lead, which is crazy. We'll use the event here. Okay. I think we're fine with this here, right? Because we can play the 10 drop and then we can discard the Peter. And then we can force all of our stuff on board here. Well, it's actually my fault. I think we should have EMU'd ability first. It's my bad. That's my bad movement. Okay, we'll take another one, which is good. We'll trash this. Pop the market. Again, I did it again. I should have got rid of the Hiyori. It's my fault. Alright, well, go ahead and heal. You're welcome. Or guard with Newgate, I suppose. Yep. I mean, we might as well. She already knows what card we have in hand. So. Go 10 to 10. Just get cards out of hand here. Yep. She'll guard. She'll pitch a card with Hiyori. She got rid of Brûlé to heal an extra life. And that's it for the day. We'll pass turn over. Our board is okay. The downside, though, she's gained 4 cards off of 2 Marcos, which is a problem. Nami, on the other hand, only has Newgate down, but she has seen a lot of cards. Really? Stop, man. These Hioris are so strong. Yep. Goes 9 every turn. With, or sorry, not 9 every turn. Has 7 every turn. My fault. With the 2 young girls being on board. It's kind of nutty. Oh, okay, it's on KO. Okay, so it doesn't really matter if we decide to play down Mars. That's my bad. That's my bad. I thought when the card was KO'd, like when it blocks, then she can use the ability. But it's just in general. When it's KO'd, even if I activate Mars, she still gets to do the thing. So it doesn't matter if I pop the Marcos or not. So now I don't feel so bad. But still, that just makes that card even much better, to be fair. Play this on board for free. Or for 3 Dawn, sorry. And let's start poking. We don't have the luxury of clearing the Newgate here either, considering she has double blockers here on board. Yep. Gives me a Kikinojo and a Brûlé, which is not bad. I guess we can trash this for now. We get okay. That's pretty strong. But I think I want to have this to pop something here. Yep. We'll pop this Searcher here, I guess. We'll get rid of this. And then on KO, she can do the thing. She does. Discards Nico Robin and heals another life. I think I just made a misplay there. I'm pretty sure we just misplayed. Right? We should have swung there. That's oh wow. Dang. That's my bad. Cause she's a 7. Yeah, we should have swung there. That's my fault. Sorry, y'all. It happens. It'd be what it'd be. We'll pop this though. We can still swing. It's fine. But we lose 1 attack there. There's a pudding. Goes to 6. This will force her. I don't know why I did that. Math is terrible. 2 misplays were made. My bad. So we run that into Newgate because I can't math, and then I forgot to swing before we activated our 10 drop turn. That was terrible. And that in itself might just cost me the game there, to be honest. Because now she can just KO this, or force the block. And remove 2 bodies on board, right? Because we block, then she swings into it with Newgate. So one way or the other, this card's going to go bye-bye. Okay, she passes. Alright. Interesting. Well, we can at least do some damage here. So, we have that going for us. I should have swung 6 first with the emo. That's my bad. But it's okay, we can still attach down and do the thing, it doesn't really matter here. Just can't believe I did that. I should have swung first, that's my fault. Let's see what we can get her down to. It's 3, she still has a blocker up. Okay. Try this again. There she goes. Okay, she gets the block there. We'll use our stage, and then we'll play a war cry down. I suppose. We'll trash first, actually. Okay, get a 2k counter. We'll play him on board as another blocker, and we'll pass it over. Yeah, so we did the 10 drop prior to swinging with a character on board, which is my bad, because we could have swung in for 7 on top of her, 7 lead. And then we did one more misplay after that, didn't we? What did we do? It was like literally like right after that. And I already forgot. I'll figure it out during editing. Either way, there's another 10 drop Newgate. Let's go 7 into 5 here. I can't counter out if I wanted to. I can block here. But Jozu takes it out anyway, so I don't think that matters too much. I could have forced the block and then like got an extra card draw there. Okay. I mean, what are the odds of her swinging into this with Newgate with 2 life up? Kind of high, right? You just clear it? Now's her chance really to clear bodies off board, though. There she goes. Okay, fair. You don't give me an extra card. That's good. Smart. Alright. Please. Nope. Okay. That kind of sucks. Grab this body for now. Can I get a search, please? I guess I can't. But we were able to at least draw, what, 3 cards this turn? We got double searches plus our 1-drop searcher. And then, oh no, we can do leader skill as well. To trash her, to draw an extra card as well. So we get 4 cards this turn. Okay. What do we do? Just stack all Dawn on IMU and go into Newgate? I mean, that seems okay. What are the odds? Does she have the counter here? I mean, I guess it's just 1 2k and 1k, so. Yep, she did have the counter. Unfortunate. That really does suck. So we'll pass her in here. I'm pretty sure Nami has this matchup. I think even if I didn't make that misplay, I don't think it mattered. She did have access to pudding here, so yeah. I think it's fine. She heals up, she plays pudding. Next turn we just draw 1 card and we lose. So. But I won't give her the satisfaction, because we could just block out here then draw the extra card. So. But overall, it was pretty good. Not bad. We'll take the loss on the chin. We'll move on after this game. We're going to probably try meta decks today, if possible. I still do deem Nami as a meta deck, so just eats the run. I think this deck is very, very good. I've said nothing but positive things about this deck today, so there's that as well. But I do want to get some matchups into like Zoro and Ace if possible. Mainly Zoro for me, because I think I struggle with that matchup the most out of the top decks, if you will. I think Zoro is very, very challenging. And I get it, I think IMU is supposed to be able to beat that deck consistently, so I'm not too sure what I'm doing wrong. So, I mean, you guys can definitely help out in the comments below. Either way. And she had a component in life. Anyway, let's dive into another one. I'll be fair. I am going into this matchup blind, alright? I have never played into Roger, especially as IMU, I'm not too sure what to expect. I do know, however, Roger is similar to Shanks in a sense where their top end is ridiculous. And I don't think I can compete with that. If Roger sees the pieces, I'm pretty much cooked. And I think that's how Roger deals with a lot of decks in the format. When he draws the nuts, it's pretty much over for you. I think this deck is very terrifying. It's very scary to play against. Being a 7k leader in the late game is just... that's rough, man. Now, he also has access to ramp because he's a blue-purple deck, so he should be able to get big bodies down a lot faster than me, which is unfortunate. Even though we did go second here, right? It doesn't really matter. Because we have to survive to 10 Dawn. And with the ability to ramp up to play big bodies, Roger can put pressure on me very, very early. So for example, he's already on 7 Dawn, we're on turn 3. Thankfully we have the removal for him, and we don't have to deal with an extra swing for the following turn, which is nice. I guess I'll take this hit. Okay, we get a 2k counter. And we have means of removing this right now, which we need to do here. So we're going to have to spend 3 Dawn to play this on board. Then we have extra Dawn for our event to be able to swing into Roger with both our characters. No, this will be okay. Actually, you know what? Let's swing with this as well. Because this kind of gives him an option of attacking into it, therefore we can draw an extra card, and I'm okay with that. We'll go 7 as well. Put him to 3. We'll leave up for the event. And I don't really have anything in hand that I want to pitch for our skills, so we'll pass turn here. There's Rayleigh. This card's pretty good. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we can do about it. Okay, so we get their Saturn. Again, I'm blanking on the name sometimes, I apologize. 6 lead. Give you a 2k. This is going to be a grind. Okay. Not bad, just not what we need. I'd rather have gotten our 6 drop. That way we can apply a little bit more pressure here. But we also don't have Peter on board until now, so there he is. Cool. We'll take the 10 though. I think this is more ideal here. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and bottom deck the other 2, which is probably less likely for us to draw into it. That's my fault. We go 5 there because we can't really swing into anything else, so it is what it is. No, I have no reason why I did that. I just totally forgot he was a 7. He was a 7k leader now. That's my bad. Sometimes I just don't read. But anyway, 7 on 7's pretty good, right? Still has to force him to give me cards in hand. And now that we're getting to the late game, there are situations where Roger, just like Shanks, is completely bricked up and has nothing but big bodies in hand and no counter. That does happen quite often when it comes to this deck, which we go 7 and he takes the hit. I'm not too sure why he wants to be at 2 life, but it is what it is. I do have to be mindful of 10-drop Roger as well. Because if we put him on 0 and he drops Roger on board, we have nothing but blockers. So, yeah. So there's a Shanks, which is problematic. Definitely. Going 7 lead. I guess we have to counter this one, don't we? Because he's going to be able to swing 9 and 12, so I guess we're taking both of these hits, or he's clearing the body on. Okay, never mind. Another 10 drop. Please. At least we get some form of counter there, but still. Seeing another 10 drop there just kind of sucks. Let's poke. See if we can get some more cards out of hand here. Our effects get nullified, by the way. So, not necessarily, but they get reduced because of Shanks on board, so we don't get the extra 2,000 boost with our Peter, instead of just +1. which makes it a little bit harder for us to have to hit Roger due to the fact we have to attach Don now. You know, 7k leader and all. Pretty good. I do like, however, that we are forcing cards out of Roger's hand. Gives me a 2k. Which I suppose isn't need bugging anymore. How about an 8? Can you give me another 2k, please? He did. Okay. I think we have to leave up a Dawn here, so we're going to go 7. So I need to have my blockers back on board and survive, you know, next turn. Okay, so it goes the 1. This is about to be super risky because we're going to forego our any chances of events here, right? Being able to draw an event off of our searcher or what have you, because we don't have any Dawn, so we can't go to 9k to protect out at least 1 hit. Instead, we have to rely on 2 blockers here to be able to do this. And our counter in hand is not the greatest, considering we didn't also find anything here. So we're going to take a 1k. I mean, I don't really need to pitch here to KO Buggy or Shanks. We'll pass it over, it's fine. We don't need to do that. This is okay, but we're going to lose a body if we decide to use our leader skill. So we're going to have to pitch something in hand if that's the case. I don't think anything else can help us here, though. Because we've already gotten the 10 drop. But you never know. Can I get a 2k? I can get a 2k. Alright, boys. We're still in business. We're still in business. We got 2 blockers on board. We have 8k counter in hand. 2 blocks up. Oh, what does this thing do? Oh, boy. Oh, wow. That's terrifying. That's really good. So he becomes a 9k. Dang, that's nuts, actually. Well, we get a searcher. I suppose we're going to have to guard out, right? Because there's no way we can take the hit. And, you know, they have Shanks alive, and then the following turn, if they have Goldie Roger, we just lose. I do like that we got the event, but he still has 5 cards in hand. No blockers up. But he is a 9k leader this turn. There's no way we're attacking into this. Alright. Oof, that's rough. 3 searchers in hand. It's not the greatest. Okay. We'll take this instead, just to have an additional blocker here, if need be. Might as well play another one. Get rid of that for now. We got 8 Dawn left to play with. We can still get out the 10 drop Elders, but we still can't swing with anything here. There's no way we're be able to attack into this. Okay. Because that's attaching, what, 4 Dawn to lead, basically? Then swinging 10. Or, I guess we attach 3 and go that way. Alright, so we'll go ahead and play Elders again. We'll go 5 here. We'll minus on Rayleigh. It doesn't necessarily matter too much here. I want to try to clear Rayleigh if possible. We'll activate our ability here. We'll trash this. I can't swing with the other 2 here, so... in this case, we can actually bring back the Rush character and then do the thing. Okay. Not really much here to take. I guess we take the 1-drop event, realistically. I don't want to do this either. I'd rather keep the cards in my hand for the time being. I know we can kill the Shanks or Buggy, but it's not really a prime target right now. So I think this is more important for me. Be able to clear this if possible. We're going to go 8 into 5. So you need at least 4k to get out of this. With 5 cards in hand. If he doesn't have it, he's cooked next turn. And we probably should have went 9k, but I need to leave the Dawn up for Charlos and our 1-drop event. just in case. And if he decides to guard out here, we can still swing 6k with IMU into it. Nice. Cool. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll do this. That's pretty good. So now we've gotten 3 blockers here. We'll pass turn. We can't do anything else here. Unfortunately, Charlos can be removed from play. Or KO'd or what have you. But that does force Roger to... Okay, play Don. There you go. What is this, actually? Neko Mamushi. What do you do? Okay. So 8 or more Don cards on the field, you KO something with 3,000 power or less. Fair. Wow, you actually are going to attack this turn. That sucks. Let me math, hold on. We have to counter here with these. Okay. We have a 12k, a 13k, and a 7k. So I can only afford to take one of these hits. We'll guard here. 13. 1 Don open. We get a 1-drop event. I think I'd rather have taken that hit instead of giving him the blocker. Because this way we still have 3 attacks this turn. Plus lead makes 4. He's got 1 Don up, 1 event in hand probably. So maybe like a Blast Breath. I don't know what he runs when it comes to 1-drop events. Radical Beam maybe? I'm not too certain. That's 2, 3. Oh boy. This is actually kind of rough, to be fair. I think we have to go for it. Trying to figure out how we go for it, to be fair. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I guess. Yeah, let's go 7 first. See what he does. Okay. Fair. Gives me a 1k counter. We'll try this again. We'll go 9 lead this time. Can we get there, boys? We might be able to get there, boys. 7? Okay, it gives me a 1. Part of me wanted to just go all in, but you never know. They might have the beam. I don't know. Okay. And a GG, I think? Or do you have the beam? Do you have it? 10k. Oh, he had Roger this whole time. Man, I'm glad we won. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to dive into another matchup here with IMU playing into Zoro, in which this is definitely not my best, okay? I struggle into this matchup, and I need to figure out what I need to do to get this down and done correctly. Because I feel like IMU does have a good time into Zoro, but at the same time, Zoro is able to rest all of our 4-cost bodies and he can just run into them. So perhaps this is not the ideal matchup you want when it comes to IMU, if you will. Because I feel like whatever I'm doing is not the right thing. So if you guys have tips and tricks, if you guys have suggestions, leave them down in the comments below when it comes to how you deal with Zoro with IMU. Because I'm still learning it, so I do apologize if I make some misplays here. We probably will. But we're going to dive into this match, see what we can do. We did end up going first, unfortunately. Because I do want to go second here to be able to play on curve. I think I need to be able to pop things like Tashigi and stuff. Which is very, very difficult to do when he has access to his 2-cost blocker. Because that 2-cost blocker allows him to protect any character that's a slash unit of 5 costs and under. Kind of similar to the 3-drop Tashigi a little bit. So. And then I think maybe attacking into Zoro isn't the play. Maybe starving him is the way this matchup is supposed to go. But I'll figure it out. It won't take me long. I'll figure it out. With or without you guys. Okay, thank you. But I appreciate if you guys, let me know how I'm supposed to do this, because this matchup is a pain in the butt. But there's a 2-cost blocker, which I cannot pop anything now with our 6-drop. So, I guess we're going to play our 4-drop search and see what we get here. We'll take that, I guess. No 10-drop. We have one in hand for now, but still. We'll go 5 lead. So he just takes hits then. Maybe starving him is the way to go. It's a little late now, but... We'll play a blocker here, I guess. Actually, no, we don't. We don't have to. So he goes up to, what, 6 Dawn? And if he's going to arrest something, he's going to arrest our 4-cost anyway, so it doesn't really matter here. We'll trash this. We'll draw 1. We'll pass turn. So it doesn't matter, right? Because if we play our blocker down, he can just rest it anyway. Yep, there's the Tashigi. He has the Dawn, of course. He goes 9 into that, and then 9 into lead. And regardless, if we had the 2-cost blocker here, we would just go ahead and block, and then he would swing into it again anyway, with the Zoro on board over Fleeter. I'll give you the 1 here. Yep, restand, goes 9, sure. There's a Vivi. Restands that Zoro as well. It's not looking good, boys. It is not looking good. Because ideally we can remove the Tashigi here, but we can't because of the 2-drop. Which is a pain, man. I guess we'll drop the Charlos, so it doesn't really matter, right? It's either that or the Vivi. I probably should have dropped the 4 Elders, my bad. I probably should have kept that on board. But then again, we couldn't use our 1-drop event. That's 2, 3, 4. Yep. We'll play this down. We'll play Vivi down here as well. So now we have 2 blockers up. We'll pass turn. Yep. I guess we'll just give him a body here. Otherwise, we just give him the 2k counter. Which I suppose is okay. But I feel like he's just going to rest these anyway, so. And then just KO them with like the Perona and whatever, but. Okay, so we got another 2-cost blocker. Still has 7 Dawn left to play with here. 7 lead. We'll guard here as well. Actually. Because if we guard out, he swings, what, 9k probably face, or 8k face. And then we're taking probably 2 hits if he has a way of resting Mars. So we'll guard here as well. Law, what does this do? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Alright, interesting. Unfortunately, though, it's another blocker on board. Which does suck. Then he gets Cavendish down, restands 2 Dawn, and then probably gets rid of the Hiyori, if I had to guess, to play the 2-cost, unless he attaches all 3 and swings here. Because if he plays the 2-cost, he's able to protect his bodies on board. So then go 5. Okay. We'll give you the 2. Spends 1 for Perona. Gets a search. 2k and X-Drake. Yep, I figured as much. So now we can't remove bodies again. And we're on 9 Dawn, so we can't play our 10-drop anyway, so. There's another Vivi. Perhaps this matchup changes if we do go second, right? But at the same time, I need to figure out how to navigate this, because right now I think I'm just getting cooked. Because I never want to do this, realistically. But we got to remove that body. And if we had another 6-drop with Mars, we could pop the Cavendish here. Because he's just going to give me the Law, or give me cards in hand. Yep, fair. You got it, buddy. You got it. Because that gives him 4 attacks without restanding Zoro next turn. I probably should have pitched the Vivian hand to draw one there. Go ahead and boost up. Another 7, sure. He has another one as well. 7 restands the Dawn. Does the thing. You got it. And then I'm pretty sure he wins here, right? KOs this, and then restands himself, yes? Oh, okay, alright, fair. Puts me to 0. Yep. And good game, buddy. Huh. Well played. Okay, of course he leaves. Fair enough. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll probably play one more game after this one, give or take, because I think this video is probably going on long enough. At least we played, what, 3 bluish decks? So, if I remember, right? 2 Namis, a Kuzan here, which I assume will be a minute or so. And then, yeah, we'll probably play one or 2 more games after this, and we'll call it a day. Either way, Zoro, I told you, I struggle in that matchup. I don't know what it is. I feel like I never win the die roll, but at the same time, you know, going first gives him access to play on curve as well with the Tashigi, but going first also takes away second for me, which I want to go second to pop characters on board. So there's a whole thing. I feel like I'm just kind of just like, what's the word? Instead of going in a straight line in that matchup, I'm just like all over the place, if you will, you know? But either way, we're going to dive into this matchup here with Kuzan. And we did win the die roll, so we are going to take second away from this deck as much as you want to do that. Kuzan going second is kind of gross, and yeah, you don't want to deal with 2 bodies every turn with Garps. So we do have access to a lot of bodies on board in this match that Kuzan cannot interact with. So things like the Jozu, Gravity Blade, Red Rocks, 3000 Worlds, they cannot remove anything that we play, which is really, really good. So that means our blockers that hit the field, he has no way around them. He has to go through them. And with how the deck works for Kuzan, he's typically tapping out almost every turn. Almost every turn. There are some times where you don't have anything for that turn. For example, like sometimes when you're 5 or you're 6 Dawn, if you don't have Kuzan in hand, you know, you're swinging heavy, right, with your characters on board. But mostly, he has to go around my blockers, in which going 5 to 7k every single turn here on when we get Peter on board is going to be really, really ideal for us, because it forces Kuzan to give me 2ks, which is mostly all the deck typically has, besides like 1-drop Tashigis for counter and the Sengokus. So going 7 is definitely going to be the magic number here. Or sorry, 5. Going 5 is going to be the magic number here, because it just forces him to give me 2ks, which is nice. We're going to go ahead and clear this real quick. Just get that out of the way so he doesn't Dawn that up next turn. Because that's 4, 5. He goes to 7 Dawn. If he wants to play Kuzan down the freeze my blocker, that's totally cool with me. So we're going to go ahead and I guess we'll toss the 2k counter just to pop a Tashigi on board. I think that was a little irrelevant, but at the same time we do get the body in the trash too, so... Or sorry, we do get the body off the board, so that's fine. We'll go 5 here. This way, maybe he's forced to try to clear our body on board. Maybe. We'll pass turn. I don't want to discard anything for IMU right now. I think we're good at this point. I want to keep my hand low, but not like super low, because I do have to be mindful of putting in this matchup as well. Sakazuki, so he draws 2 more. This card is so good. You draw 2, and then you cycle to draw an extra card, which is really strong. And then you're a 9k. If you're attaching 1 Dawn, right? Which our event we can't save ourselves with, so we're gonna have to event plus another body unless he attacks into us. There's Aramaki. Draws 1. I assume 6 lead. Yep. Okay. That's not too bad. But I don't think we want to go down the 2 life just yet, because we're only on 6 Dawn. Which means... we'll give him the 2k. Because next turn we're taking a hit regardless with the Sakazuki unless we guard out, right? So... Let's just poke, man. We're gonna go 7 lead. We're gonna force him to deal with our characters on board. Yep. Chopper. Okay. I do like this. Interesting build. I like this. I'm guessing he's running the Usopp. The Usopp allows him to play characters from hand. I think they're like 4 cost, I believe, with no effects, if I recall. Or is it a 5,000, 6,000 power? I forget, one or the other. Either way, this is going to be a different Kuzan variation that I'm used to playing against, so I like that. 7 here, we get rid of more 2k counters, which is nice. And... I guess we can pass. Because we're either trashing 2k or not trashing 2k for Imu's ability. And this way he still has to run his bodies into our blockers on board, otherwise we're just swinging heavy next turn anyway. Okay, he's going 5k lead. I don't know if that's supposed to be the play here. No, I guess he's at 9 Dawn. There's no Garp this turn, which is good. So, I'll take that. Do you have Kuzan? Maybe? Interesting. Just gonna go 8 to face. We'll go ahead and event. Go up to 9. This will force him to Kuzan me. Because he can't play anything else down on 6 Dawn that's relevant here in this build, I don't believe. He does have Pudding though. That's nice. 5 to body, I hope? Nope, 5 to leader. I'll take this hit. Ooh, we get a 10 drop. Okay, we're still chilling, boys. We're still good. We are still good. We have the Searcher in hand too, so perhaps we would have found it anyway. But I'm glad we got one. Let's go 5 here. He's got 2 Dawn up. We know he's got at least 1 Peacock in hand from his search earlier. He threw away the Oramaki, so he has to have at least maybe 2. So there's the first Peacock. He ice blocks a 5k swing though. That's crazy. Throws away Sakazuki, draws a card. Man, that's crazy. Alright, let's do the thing here. Let's KO everything. And then we'll pitch. What do we need here in trash? Do we have him? We do. Okay, we have the 7 drop in trash. Alright, we're chilling, we're chilling. Or sorry, yeah, the 7 drop. We had him in trash too. Who am I missing? The Searcher. Okay. I guess we'll go ahead and pop Pudding, which is fine. We'll get rid of this. I think the Vivies are a little bit more important here. Because he doesn't play a lot of bodies on board that are 5 costs and under that I have to be worried about. We'll take the event, of course. We'll play the event. We'll take another one of those. Now this would be the time he puddings me again. You know? Let's go heavy into Sakazuki here. He's got 1 Dawn up for a Peacock, right? This will push me to 12, which makes him a 6k. So if he has Peacock, he can't survive unless he gives me the rest of his hand. Because he needs a Peacock and then 3k counter. So that's pretty good. We'll pass it over. We're looking pretty strong right now. There's the Garp. So I imagine he didn't have this on curve. I imagine. Right? Because if he did, I would think he'd play it down. Do you not have a body here? Okay, so there's the Kuzan. There's the Garp. Yep. Who are you freezing? I guess it really doesn't matter here, right? Because I think I would have swung with Kuzan first into our 6 drop and then decided to play this combination. He's gonna go 5 and lead instead. Okay. Interesting. I think we have to guard here too. Just because next turn is potential like 3 big swings, which could win the game. Not really, because we have 2 blockers on board. Never mind. I forgot. Let's go 5 here first. There's a Sengoku. We'll go 7. Okay. That's the first one. Well, minus the Kuzan. For no reason. That's the second. Alright, looking good. I guess we start donning up here, man. Let's go 9k. This will force the Peacock plus 1k counter. Goes to 0. Boys, I think we just win here. Right, we have 8 Dawn left. Okay, so he had a Peacock in life. Sure. Trashes the Garp, draws a card, no problem. I don't want to risk it though. Let's go 9. Okay, so there's a Peacock. Goes to 9k, trashes card in hand. Then he has to give me 1k counter. Give me a 2k, come on. Be a 2k. Alright, gives me a 2k. Alright, let's go ahead and use our ability here. We'll trash this. We'll get an event. We'll pop this down player 10 drop and do the thing again. We can discard this for now. That's fine. And we have 1 more attack this turn, which is nice. We'll search. We'll grab another event. And I won't pop anything. And then we'll just go 7 lead here. We could go 9, but I'd rather go 7 and leave up 2 Dawn for our events. Oh, he had another Peacock. Alright, not bad. Which is another Garp. So that's 2 Garps in trash, 1 on field. And we'll pass turn here. That was pretty good. Although it might have been possible to go for game, but he did have 2 Peacocks in hand. I don't know if he drew that Peacock off a life. I don't know if he had it off another Peacock. I'm not entirely sure. So I think playing the way we did was fine, right? Because if we had gone, what, 7? It would have been 11k, I think, because we had 5 Dawn left, I believe. That's 12, sorry. That would be 1 Peacock goes to 9, and then he had the counter. So, I think we got more cards out of hand this way. Maybe. Maybe. I'll have to watch it back, but I think that was fine. So what do you do here? You go 6 lead. I don't know why you wouldn't go 9 to force the event if we had it. Or force the block. Because you're not surviving this turn, that's for sure. Unless he has like double Borsalino here, and even still he's not surviving. So we're going 8 here. We'll go ahead and event out of this. Which is good for us. We'll do it again if he swings for 8k. Okay, never mind. He had Luffy. So he was betting on Luffy there. Interesting. Well played. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. This will probably be the last game of the day, in which we're going to end on playing against an ace, it looks like. Which is fine, right? This is another one of those matchups in which I'm very, very excited for. Between these two decks, I don't know which one I'm going to be actually looking forward to the most of playing. But I do think ace has more flexibility, a much better pool of cards, if you will, that he can pull from. Whereas IMU, similar to Blackbeard, kind of just has that one-trick pony with a little bit of flexible spots. Still a very interesting deck to play, but between the two, it's a toss-up between what I want to play, basically. Either way, this matchup is very difficult for us, unfortunately. When he's able to slap down Newgates back-to-back, it makes it very challenging because there's 2 different Newgates that he usually utilizes. It's the blocker Newgate, and it's also the Newgate that taxes me. Whereas I have to pitch cards in hand if I want to swing with a body. So, 8 lead? You got it, buddy. Or 9 lead, sorry. That's math. We get double event here. I guess we'll go 6. That is the one thing I have noticed in this matchup is every single turn I want to be able to at least swing. Even if I'm going 6k, it's getting cards out of hand here in this matchup. In which, if we can get there and have a decent board, before he has access to the new gates, I think it's doable. But every time Ace takes a damage, right, from life, he also draws a free card off his leader skill, which is nice. That's just one of what his leader skill does. So he draws 2. He takes 1 damage, draws 2 cards, gets 1 off life, then he gets 1 from top deck. And that's every turn. Once per turn, he can use that ability, which is really good. And this is why most Ace players have a ridiculous amount of cards in hand. Which, oddly enough, with the 4-drop Marco, speaking of Marco, with Ace's ability, there's no way he doesn't typically draw into his big bodies, which makes it problematic for me. So, because we don't play with removal. So, I mean, those bodies hit the board, they're on the board. The only removal that we have is our Mars, which isn't hitting a new gate. Speaking of Mars, we got him here. So we'll play Mars here on curve, actually. What's in trash here? Okay, so we already have that in trash. I guess it doesn't really matter if we have it in trash. We'll just pop this. He draws 2 more cards. Yep. Then we go 6 to lead. So we got 2 cards off Marco, then he got 1 card off the Ace because something died on his field, which is really, really good. Alright, so he's going to Ezo effect there, which means when I attack, he can trash the Ezo, draw 1 card, and take 1 card from his hand, put it to the bottom of the deck, which is nice. This card's pretty good. But we're still going 6. Gives me a Jozu, which Jozu doesn't really have a lot of value here in this matchup. We're going to go 6 again here. Gives me a Pudding. Wait, what? What happened? What happened? Okay. Well, next turn, he doesn't really have a lot going on here. I don't understand why he surrendered. I think I would have played it out. He does have Yamato in hand, which allows him to draw cards, right? But he doesn't have a lot of counter in hand, which next turn we can go 7-7 and 7 or 8-8-8 and put him to 0. I don't know, man. We'll do one more game. We won't really count this one, obviously, man. We'll just dive into another matchup. Of course, we're still going to showcase it. I just don't get why he surrendered here. I don't understand it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last game of the day when it comes to IMU here, at least for this video. Then we're going to dive into another deck list here on the channel. I think we're going to dive into Zoro for the first time, at least on the channel, and for OP12 at the very least. And then eventually we will dive into OP13 when it comes to Zoro. I still have a bunch of decks I want to play around with for OP12, so there's a lot of builds out there I want to get into with like things like Katakuri, Rayleigh, and Nami, of course, and some other stuff. But without further ado, we're going to play into Blackbeard here, which may be a pretty good matchup, at least for Blackbeard. It might be pretty good here, because he can turn off all of our abilities, which everything we play is on play besides our 6-drop Rush, right? And our 10-drop. So he can kind of control the board, if you will, when it comes to what he decides to let go through and what not to go through. But the Augur, the Don Q or Doc Q and stuff, they don't get a lot of value here. So I would assume Burgess is probably the way to go, because we can't KO that, which means we can't play Mars to pop it, and trash just keeps building up. So that's just one way I have to look at this matchup. And then on a side note, we have to starve Blackbeard, because we just have to make it to late game. And if he's not playing any Augurs because they don't get value, right, because he can't pop anything, he's not playing bodies on board to be able to swing into my face other than leader swing unless he's playing Burgess down. So we should be okay. That's a lot to take in. I apologize. But that's why I think this matchup needs to be played. And I say that, and I decided to swing for 6k, so we'll see. What does he get there? He did draw another Burgess, unfortunately. So he got one in trash, and then drew one off the event. And we go into 5 Dawn, which we have access to Saturn. There's a Burgess he drew off the event. It goes 5 leader. I don't mind that. We get another one. I assume he's going to pitch cards here with stage. Yep. So we had 2 Burgesses. He got 1 off the search, he had 1 in hand, and then he already drew into 1 earlier, which he pitched. So that's 2 Burgesses in trash, 1 on board. Leader skill, yep. So we can't get a search off here, which it is what it is. But at the same time, we can at least put another body down on board, which is nice. And that's what we're going to do here. Let's go 6 here. Yep, gives me a 2k. That's fine, man. You want to guard out early? That's totally cool with me. We'll trash that. We'll get an event. So that's in trash. We have 2 in trash right now. And again, I swung again. I don't know why I did that, but I swung again. Need to simmer down here. So I want him to keep pitching cards for, you know, his leader skill. There's Kuzan. Gets back Virgis, I assume. Yep. So that's 2 of them, which he should be able to make them 7k. Yep. With leader stage, or sorry, with leader or stage. Go ahead and go to 8. And now we'll just focus on clearing the bodies off the board. That's the important thing here. We'll trust this too. I need to at least have either one of these need to be in trash here, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, another 10 drop. We'll get this on the board. This will make the Burgess a 5k swing, or sorry, 5k body, which is good. But perhaps we just go 7k into it first, get cards out of hand here. Nah, we'll just clear it. That's fine. I mean, if you want to give me counter, I'll take that. But I think, okay, all right, sure, bud. What's the worst that can happen, right? We go 5. We leave a Don up for our event. We clear this. He has 2 cards in hand. He draws, goes to 3 cards. Okay, never mind. He has 1 card in hand. Oof. That's crazy. Let's go 6. Let's go 6. We'll leave 1 Don up for the event. This way he can't clear both. Nice. Cool. We'll trash. We'll get rid of this. Another event. Our hand's looking really good. Alright, it's looking pretty good. Pretty solid. He's on 8. Throws away a 2k. Draws my age. Plays my age. Draws another Burgess. So he's seen all 4 of them now. And I assume he's going to play that down on board. And then he's going to pitch something for leader skill, which means he has 0 cards in hand, right? I think that's how that works. Okay, Kuzan. Plays Burgess from trash. Trash is stage for leader ability. Then goes 7 leader. Nope, 7 here. I will keep this on board. You're welcome. Oh wait, he can still swing with that, can he? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. You got it. That's my bad. Oh, I mean, I guess at least we don't go down to 2 life. So, that's a good way of looking at it. And we can still clear that. So we'll trash this. We'll get a search. We'll play the search down. We get another one. That's good. This rush unit's actually going to do really well here in this matchup. So you're a 9. This will make you a 7. This will put us to 9 to 7. Yeah, this is good. Because now he can't protect it. So we'll get rid of that. We leave up the last Dawn for our event as well. And then now it's either we give him cards for the find the 10 drop new gate, or we pass turn. Let's just... It's rough, man. Let's... 8, 9, 10. Let's pass. I think it's better to do it this way. Did he get it? Does he have it? No. Okay, cool. We're chilling. If we had swung and he got the 10 drop off life there, that would have been a little bit of a tougher matchup here. At least for a turn or 2. He might have been able to out-sustain me with the big body because he freezes, I guess, Saturn there and then runs his other characters into our arrested. And then we just go play our rush down, and then he blocks with the 10-drop Newgate, not Newgate, but sorry, the Teach. So, I think it makes it a little bit problematic here. Yep, that's cleared. You got it. Black hold me. Plays another Burgess down. Simmer down, boy. Plays another Burgess here, which is kind of crazy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. We have to clear these bodies on board. What is he, a 9? Yeah, he's a 9, so that's math. 8, 9 here. We'll go 9 into that. We'll get this off the board. Yep. Just let it go. 24 cards left in the deck here. And then I guess at this point it's, do we want to give him free cards? Because he either gets a card... Yeah, I guess we have to start swinging, right? We're in a position where we should be fine. We'll pop this with our ability. We'll get a 2K counter, which is nice. Hold on, let me check trash real quick. Do we have it? Okay, so we have Peter in trash, which is fine. So it doesn't really matter what we throw away here, does it? Because we're getting back 2 blockers, but we'll get rid of this just to make it make sense. He's got 3 Dawn, 1 card in hand here. I think we can be aggressive. Because we're going to have to at some point. I wouldn't need to attach Dawn. Let's go 7 lead. Yep. So we'll put him to 2. We'll put him to 2. Like, what are we doing here? Thank you. Okay. So you get a search? Good. Glad you got no searches. We'll pass turn. Alright, so we got 2 blockers here, which Teach can't remove. Does he get the 10 drop? Because he's definitely late at this point. And part of me thinks that perhaps... Well, no, not really, right? The stage trashes the cards, so he hasn't seen a 10 drop yet. I'd imagine. There's the 7. Gets a Kuzan. He's gonna play Kuzan down, draw a free card, and play another Burgess if I had to guess. Yep. So that's 2 10k swings. He's got 5 Dawn open. What was that? Black hole? Oh, I forgot. That does exist still. I forgot that's a thing. So there goes that. That's 1 blocker down. He's going to go 6 here. I think we should just give him the 2k counter, but we'll let it go. Because we have another 10 drop. I'm not really worried about it too much. Now he's going to be forced to attack me. There's this Charlos, I guess. The guy that nobody likes. Now you're contemplating on using leader ability. He does. Okay. Because I believe he should know that we have a 10 drop, which means if he didn't use that skill, we get the search here. So. But I'm pretty sure we have a game now. Okay. We'll go ahead and go 9. Yep. Well played, man. There's the 10 drop. Well played. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the end of the video, in which today we played around with IMU here in OP13. I do hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is going to be a deck list in which I think is going to be all over the place, so you better get ready for it. I'm sorry if you're not going to enjoy going to locals, because IMU is going to be dominating a lot of the bigger regional events and bigger scenes, along with Ace and Zoro. So you guys are going to be seeing these matchups quite a bit. So you might as well get as much practice in against them or as these decks as you possibly can. Now, with that being said, IMU doesn't have very much flexibility. Similar to Blackbeard, where once the cards come out, this is kind of what you got to run, and we're forced to run all of the Elders here in the deck list in order to be able to get them in trash to play them back down with our 10 drop. So that kind of uses up a lot of slots in the deck. And then, of course, we need our 2Ks, we need our searchable blockers, we need our searchers. we don't have a lot of wiggle room. What wiggle room we do have is very, very little. We have 2 open slots here when it comes to Vivi, and then of course you can go down on some of your cheap blockers here, which is Charlos, which still doesn't leave a lot of cards to put in the deck list, right? To play around with. So you get 4 slots left to add in whatever you want. Now ideally, I've seen a lot of lists that are running Stussy, and I've seen a lot of lists that run the Vivi. I've seen some lists that go Cobra, which he does have an ability that allows you to trash, you know, to fill your trash for your 10 drop. But there are times where this does backfire and put your 10 drop in trash, which you don't want that to happen, but what are you gonna do? Charlos does the exact same thing. So there's a little bit of wiggle room here, just not too much. I think the main takeaway from IMU is the fact that unlike any other deck in the format, you're able to recur this effect as long as you're able to draw this and play this on board. And you can do this effect 4 times a game, which is kind of ridiculous. Which means that's 4 bodies each and every turn once you get up to 10 Dawn, and you have 2 blockers on board your opponent cannot interact with, which is really, really strong. I think this deck is going to be around for a while, at least until it gets power crept by something else, which I don't see happening anytime soon. Because if you guys saw the leaks, I think it's OP13, we go back to East Blue, right? And East Blue is like Don Krieg-ish area, you know, Mihawk, stuff of that nature. I don't think we're going to see another deck at least this close to IMU being one of the strongest decks that we've ever seen printed right now. And, you know, I guess you guys get access to Roger as well, right? We do get Roger, where he's our first 7K leader, which is ridiculous. Between these 2 decks, I don't think anything else in OP14, or sorry, OP14 that's coming out in East Blue is going to be able to compete when it comes to the power scale. But who knows? Maybe we get Mihawk. Maybe Mihawk's amazing. But for the time being, I foresee IMU, Ace, and Zoro probably being the best decks going into OP14. But we'll see. Without further ado, though, this has been Pawseplays. I do hope you guys enjoyed today's matchups and deck breakdown when it comes to IMU. Again, I'm still learning this. I'm not necessarily like 100% fluent when it comes to IMU. I think this deck list has a little bit of a skill ceiling, because you do have to know your matchups. You have to know what cards you want to draw and when you want to see them, what cards are in the trash. There's a lot of things that are going on when it comes to this deck list, and you have to be ready for certain characters to hit the board to be able to have the removal with your Mars. I think it's fun. I really do. I do hope you guys give it a shot. Leave your thoughts and your opinions down in the comments below. How do we deal with Zoro as IMU? At least, how do I deal with Zoro as IMU? You know what I mean? Either way, I will catch you guys in the very next video. Stay safe out there. I'll see y'all later.